5 ways that rushing is killing your play, and 1 tip to help you avoid it. Coming right up. The first way that rushing is undermining how you play is because you're rushing through the shot. Often happens with the return of serve. What happens is on the return of serve, you're not getting your body set before you hit the ball. And it probably makes sense to you to think about hitting the ball from a more stable foundation. When you have a nice stable foundation, you're able to hit a nice shot, hit a good stroke. When you're rushing through the shot, you lose control of your shot. Here are 2 examples of a return of serve. One where I'm not rushing. And the other one when I'm rushing. You can see a clear difference there. When I'm getting set before I hit the shot, it's my shot. I own the shot because I'm well and set while I'm hitting the ball. When I'm rushing and just running through that ball, I don't have control over my shot. So it's really hard to predict where my shot's gonna go, oftentimes landing out of bounds. UCLA basketball coach John Wooden famously said, be quick, but don't rush. And that's how you wanna think about your movement on the pickleball court. You wanna be quick and get to the ball without rushing. The second way that rushing is undermining your shots and your consistency is a cousin of the first one. So the first one on the return of serve, we looked at how you're rushing through the shot. This next one, you're actually rushing out of the shot. So what happens is your body is set up and you're gonna hit a nice dink, but as you're hitting the ball before you finish, you're coming out of the shot. Here's an example of a couple of different dinks. One where I'm not coming out of it, where I'm getting nice and set. And here are some dinks where I'm coming out of it, and you can see how I lose control over the shot. Oftentimes, when you're coming out of the shot before you finish it, you end up popping the ball up. The way that I like to deal with these is to think about committing to the shot. So when you get set and you're gonna hit that dink, commit to the shot. Get down, hit the shot, commit to finishing the shot, and then come out into the ready position. Don't get down for the shot, start hitting the shot, and then release out of it before you finish the shot. You wanna make less mistakes here? Commit to your shot. All right, for number 3, we're gonna take a load off here because this one has to do with the mind. And oftentimes, right, we're on the court, things are going kind of fast, and that leads us to this downward spiral with rushing in our mind. And if you think about it, for you to play your best on the pickleball court, you need your mind to be calm. You need your mind to be quiet so that you can see what's going on out there, so that you can focus on your stroke mechanics, focus on your strategy, and just execute the best that you can. And what happens with this rushing concept is it's a vicious cycle. What happens is this. We get to the courts, we're feeling okay, we get called out on the courts quickly because someone needs a fourth. We run it on the pickleball court, everything starts moving, we're running around like crazy out on the court. All of a sudden our mind starts rushing, our body starts rushing, and that's where that vicious cycle happens. The faster our mind goes, the faster our body starts moving, and vice versa. And so we want to be aware of this cycle that's happening to us, and avoid running around too much with our bodies, particularly between rallies, running around picking up balls and things like that, kind of helter-skelter, because that's affecting your mind, again, in this vicious cycle. Now, if you want to improve the mental side of your play, we have a free prepare to play guide that we prepared here at Better Pickleball. It's part of our pickleball therapy suite of goods, if you will. We spend a lot of time focusing on the mental part of pickleball, and this prepare to play guide will help you get ready to play your best that day. It'll help you allocate your resources and your mind so that when you're out on the court, you avoid the temptation of rushing because you know exactly why you're there and what you're focusing on that day. I'll put a link up here and down in the show notes. You can get your free prepare to play guide so that you play better next time you're out on the court. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a tip that you can use whenever you feel your mind getting a little bit rushed, or whenever you have one of those situations out on the court where you're feeling a little bit out of sorts because you missed a shot or popped it up or something like that. Use the technique I'm going to teach you at the end of this video, and it'll calm you down. Reason number 4 why rushing is hurting your play has to do with your serve. I can't tell you over the 10 years that I've been playing how often I see a player basically insta serving, where that means you're calling out the score, so you're saying 1-1-1 and then hitting your serve right away. What happens is it's the same part of your mind, the part of your mind that's calling out the score and the part of your mind that is trying to hit that serve. Now, let me know in the comments below if you have an understanding that is different than that, because that's how it was explained to me. And it makes sense, right? Your brain's going 1-1-1, so you're trying to recall the score at the same time as you're trying to get your serve sequence in effect. If you want to avoid this common error of missing serves by just calling out 1-1-1 and then hitting your ball into the net, what you want to do is get up to the line, call out the score nice and calmly. You can bounce the ball, tap your paddle, relax your shoulders, whatever works for you. Do something between the calling of the score and the serve to allow your brain to reset from the calling of the score to the hitting of the ball. So 1-1-1, boom. I'm not going to have any problems with my serve. Wait till you see tip number 5 on the cookie volley. That's a big one. Way number 5 that rushing is affecting your play is on those cookie volleys, those volleys that are sitting right up here and you end up missing them. Now, you ever play fetch with a dog? And so you have the ball ready and the dog's sitting there and that dog is ready to jump out of their skin to go get that ball. Same thing happens on these cookies. You get a little volley up here, ball up here, and players are just chomping at the bit to hit that ball. And what ends up happening is you rush through the volley and then missing it into the net or missing it long often because you're too anxious to hit the shot. Here are a couple of examples of me looking very anxious hitting some cookie volleys. Compare those to the ones where I'm nice and set through the volley. The way to avoid making so many mistakes on those cookie volleys right here is to calm yourself down with them. Try not to do too much where you're jumping into it or really rushing through the shot. Instead, track the ball, set your paddle, and hit the volley that's going to make sense given the position of your opponents. So we now know 5 ways that rushing is affecting our play. Here's one technique that you can use to calm yourself down and come back into a neutral state. And it's a breathing technique we call the 2-push breathing technique that we use inside of our Better Pickleball and system coaching that I'm going to teach you now. So follow along, I think you'll enjoy it. We're going to do 1 deep breath in and then 2 pushes out. The first push is shorter than the second one. It looks like this. Deep breath in, push, push. Let's try it one more time. Deep breath in, push, push. Full release. I'm feeling relaxed. I hope you're feeling relaxed too. Here's a link to that Prepare to Play guide that we talked about earlier, and I'll see you inside our next lesson together. Be well.